Roger stocks are officially down. They are in the red, massively in the red. After this chapter, I gotta sell them and buy Shakky stocks. Anyway, the scans for 1156 are out, and I of course was joking before, but this most definitely was the worst showing out of the Roger Pirates ever. They weren't beaten because they were weak. Well, they weren't really beaten anyway, to be fair, but they weren't beaten because they were weak. They were beat for, honestly, a way worse reason than that, and I'm not kidding. But anyone saying that they're frauds, it's just stupid. Straight up, they're smoking on that agenda pack because they're the only pirates, especially Roger, to conquer the Grand Line and become the Pirate King. So acting like they're weak because of one bad showing is just stupid. But yeah, this chapter was pretty good, and this video will contain spoilers for the entirety of 1156. So if you haven't taken a look at the scans yet, you should then come back to this video, because this video will contain spoilers for majority of the chapter. And also, for me, please like and subscribe. I'm almost at 230 subs. I think at the time of recording this video, I'm at 226. So it would be pretty cool if I could hit 230 by tomorrow. But anyway, let's get into this. So the chapter begins with the full reveal of young Gloriosa. And she's a baddie. She's a baddie. Let's just get that out of the way. But don't let that fool you. Look at how she aged. Okay, look at how she aged. And the reason I'm bringing that up is because people are talking about Roger stocks being in the dump. No, the person stocks who are really in a dump right now are Boa's. Because the reason that Gloriosa likely aged so terribly is because of that she was in love with Roger, which was revealed in this panel right here. She was head over heels over Roger. And obviously we know that Roger did not end up with Gloriosa. He ended up with Rouge. Likely, her dreams got crushed based on that. And we know in the One Piece world, well, we don't know. It's still technically a theory, I think, but it's basically confirmed that when your dreams get crushed or you give up on your dreams, you end up looking horrible. I mean, it's seen with Gecko Moria. It's seen with the bad and good timelines of the Straw Hats that Oda drew. But, yeah, no, Boa is going to look horrible. She is going to look horrible. And that's because this chapter 100% confirms that Boa will never, ever end up with Luffy. Granted, it was already basically confirmed, but since Roger and Luffy are obviously a parallel of each other, Gloriosa parallels Boa in that way, that she will never end up with Luffy. And honestly, I would venture to say, based upon how Gloriosa was acting with Roger, Boa is most definitely way more head over heels than for Luffy than Gloriosa was for Roger. I mean, Boa literally has a poster of Luffy hung up on her castle. That is, like, next level shit. She's probably, see, this is how Gloriosa looks now. I could just imagine that Boa is legit going to look like this, with black hair, probably even shorter. Like let's condense Gloriosa and make her wider. That's probably what Boa's gonna end up looking like. I wouldn't be surprised, at the end of One Piece, during the epilogue, we, scan over, go over to Amazon Lily, and we just see a trash bag. And, the trash bag is Boa. But here is where Roger's stocks begin to plummet, because the Roger Pirates pull up on the Kuja Pirates. Now, you'd think that the Roger Pirates would win this fight, and granted, yeah, they obviously would, probably. Well, not probably, just obviously they would. But you could honestly fool someone, because both Gabon and Roger both got one-tapped by Shaki. And Shaki then stands over Roger, looks down on him like how Boa does on everyone, and just starts trash-talking him, and then winks at Rayleigh. On this day, this is probably the worst day of Roger's life, straight up. Like, this is worse than him getting executed, honestly. The girl he likes beats him up. The girl he likes basically says that she likes his best friend. That is straight up, just straight L's. Non-stop L's. And later on, there's another panel in here where he catches another L. It's just straight up. He's getting 3 L's. He's out. Okay, this is baseball. 3 strikes. You are out. Roger is out in this chapter, okay? Granted, obviously he wasn't beaten by Shaki because she's just that much stronger than him. Shaki is obviously a lot weaker than Roger. I mean, Roger is the only man, or, he's the man who's known as the Pirate King. The Roger Pirates, the only pirates to fully explore the Grand Line. You know, they're the only people outside of, you know, Joy Boy, of course, to reach Laugh Tale. Actually insane. But the reason Roger and Gabon and, you know, the random pirates and the Roger pirates got beaten by Shaki was because they were so enchanted by her beauty that they couldn't go all out. They literally just couldn't do anything against her. And that has me thinking, what if instead of Boa, Shaki had the Mero Mero no Mi? Dude, think about that for a second. Think about that for a second. She legit could have turned majority of the Roger pirates into stone. If that would have happened, there legit would have been no coming back for them. They would have been forever in the trenches. If we continue on, Roger begins to lose even more aura because Garp's battalion pulls up, and that causes the Kuja pirates to flee. Now, the Roger pirates start like freaking out, not like, you know, out of scaredness or anything, but like, hell yeah, we get to fight Garp. But if you read the leaks, it said that Garp and Roger clashed. Now, they do clash, and it was a great hockey display. I mean, we got back-to-back chapters with great clashes with Harold, Zebek, and now Roger and Garp. But it wasn't a good showing for Roger. Roger straight up got socked in the face and did nothing to Garp in that panel. Yes, of course, we didn't get to see the rest of the fight, but off that single panel, his stocks have lost. That's like at least like a 2% knock on his stocks, straight up. Getting socked like that, especially after losing even more aura with Shaki. I don't know, man. Today is a rough day to be Roger. We then get more about Loki's past, and I'm not going to cover that whole little section there. But basically, he just says how he just wanted to keep trying to join Zebek every time he returned to Elbaf, and Zebek obviously just kept turning him down and down. But there is like one really funny moment where Loki calls Ida a gold digger. That was pretty funny, I can't lie. There's only two more things I want to talk about now about this chapter. The first one is this. This is just kind of a cool thing. We see that in Hachinosu, the reason that the skull got the two holes is because rocks either punched or somehow blew a hole into it, causing it to now have eyes, which I think that's kind of cool. But the main thing I want to talk about are the two devil fruits that Rox was talking about. Now, if you watched my last video, based on the spoilers and what some of the leakers were posting, I thought the two devil fruits that Rox was referring to was going to be the Hito Hito no Mi Model Nika and the Yami Yami no Mi. And after reading the scans, I honestly don't think that's the case. I do think one of them is still going to be one of the two, but I don't think it's going to be both of them. The reason I say that, and I'm referring to the one on Elbaf specifically, is because of this. He says one of them is most likely on Elbaf. It'll only show its true power if Harold eats it. Now, I'm going to be honest. After reading that, I don't think the fruit on Elbaf is either of those. I think it's a brand new fruit that we've never heard of before. And it probably has something to do with the lore of Elbaf or like the lore of giants or something. And to be honest, I'm not that like well versed in like making theories like at all. I'm sure by now, after this panel's been out, I mean it's been out for now a couple hours, at least like 12 hours, I think. So I'm sure there's tons of videos on TikTok, probably mainly TikTok, of some great theory piece people theorizing on what it could be. I'm not one of those people, but it's probably not going to be one of those two fruits. But that being said, if you have any idea what you think it might be, please let me know in the comments, because I think it'd be kind of cool to find out what it is. One last thing, the chapter then ends with this sick-ass double spread of the Rocks Pirates. And I'm not going to lie, this is sick as shit. It's so badass. So a lot of people were saying how next chapter we're going to get the God Valley incident, or, you know, the start of it at least. And if you watched my last video, I said that I don't think we're going to get it next chapter, or even just the beginning of it. But I'm not going to lie. I have switched teams. I have switched sides. I now believe we're going to get the beginning of God Valley, at least somewhat, next chapter. And the reason I say this is because of that double spread, obviously. The first thing is I'll take you to the World Summit. Now, what the hell can that's like a crazy line. Seriously, like, he's going to take them to the World's Summit. What's like the greatest World Summit? What is the greatest thing you can do? The God Valley incident. I feel like we're going to start the next chapter off with them talking, and then the transponder snail's going to start ringing, and he's going to hear about what's going on God Valley, and they're going to just, you know, begin to pull up on God Valley. And the other reason I say that is because we know at the at God Valley, the Rocks Pirates were destroyed. And if you in the bottom left, it says the crew was formed. And when a crew is formed, what's the only thing that can happen to it? It can get destroyed. So I feel like it's getting set up for the God Valley incident, which is gonna be crazy. I mean, the God Valley incident isn't just gonna be one chapter, by the way. If we're actually gonna get the full flashback of it, we're fixing to probably have the longest flashback in One Piece history, straight up. Because with all the heavy hitters at God Valley and all the stuff that happened at God Valley, it straight up has to be like just the longest flashback in One Piece ever. With that, I really don't got much else to add to this video. I know this wasn't the greatest breakdown of the chapter, obviously, but I have to go somewhere soon, and I don't really have time to do a whole breakdown of it on this chapter. Next one, I'll definitely make it better and go over each and every single panel. But for now, this is unfortunately all I got time for. Anyway, I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.